Hello guys, before we start the video, make sure to like and subscribe to join the channel. Hello guys, it's me Fly Slow, and today we're going to be discussing how to become a smarter player and overall better at the game. So in this solo game, I'm going to show you various times where I avoid exchanges or I initiate the exchange where it's advantageous or where I leave when it's disadvantageous. So yeah, so right here, trying to find a gun, basically can't find a gun for some reason. Right here I spot the enforcer. I knew it sucked because I used it once and I died with it and it shot like extremely slow. So right now I hear a player and I'm looking for him. I see a visual, but he only has his pickaxe out, so I'm like, okay, he doesn't have a weapon. I'm just gonna push him. And I was correct. He didn't have any weapon. He gave me 150 mats and an easy kill. And who knows, rapscallions are usually sweats, so they end up trying to kill you. Very, very, very difficult encounters usually. But here I box up because I don't know where the player is. I create a right-hand peek and also prevent being shot from my side because I knew there were more players here. This guy emerges out of nowhere, but I kill him. Really had no chance of losing that. So unless I got hit by that snipe, I was basically putting myself at no risk, or at very little risk. Right here I edit out, try and find myself in a building and heal up. I do heal up, but I find minis out that one chest, so I basically missed out on 100 shield here, but I do find a big pot later. I hear one player and I saw another player, so basically I go towards the action. This guy's trying to push up, but he gets shot for 100 because my aim is cracked. And the guy shockwaves away, so I end up trying to find this player. Got an easy kill, so I'm basically at 3 kills already. 2 of them I put myself at absolutely no risk, and the third, it was basically I win 95% of the time. So right here, I couldn't place a wall. I knew this player was in that direction. I couldn't place a wall, but I stupidly crouched and stood still. I was trying to make my character hitbox smaller, but I still got hit for a snipe. I try and shockwave away because I knew he had advantage on me. He had probably healed. It was the same player that I hit for 100 that he hit me back for. So right now, I was just trying to go over the hill because he wouldn't have really a clue on where I went. So right now, I'm behind a tree. I heal up and I know at minimum, he's only got 50 on me. 50 shield. Or at maximum, he's only got 50 shield on me. Most probably, we're at the same HP now. So I'm willing to engage much more, especially because I just got 100 more mats out of this piece of stone. And yeah, I find the player. He doesn't know where I am, and he gets shot for 57 because of it. So I knew at minimum here that I was basically either the same HP in a more advantageous position, or that he was actually 50 shield below me. Now, I do go for this chest at the, shot of finding a big pot or like anything else. I don't find that, but I do find clingers. I knew he was still there. I could have thrown them, but I didn't. I try and force the action here, but trying to see if he's going to make a move. He never really does. That's all I'm checking for, to see if he makes a move. If he makes a move towards me, then I'm going to make a move back. It's really a 50-50 fight. I don't want to force myself to, but I knew there was a player to my southwest here because they started shooting. It's usually AI when they shoot like that, but they're always going to be shooting at a real player. And my suspicions were correct. Now, I do get shot right here because of just a weird play. Like, he decided to go for me right when I decided to slide down. So he must have, like, made the move at the same time I did. Very, very unlucky. I really didn't do anything wrong. It was just unlucky. I should have maybe looked, but it was like the last thing you probably should have expected. So I knew these players were either going to meet each other, or they were gonna, at worst, find each other. So I knew that at least I wasn't gonna be pushed, unless this guy went in the tunnel with me, which is why I had the peek in the first place. So right now I was camping. I knew someone died by this point because I looked in the chat and I saw someone died. So I go up there and try and find some loot because I could have used a big pot. I knew there was a gas station to my right. And I knew there was an engagement. The guy left with the grapple glove, and it was basically my out to go and see whether this guy had anything good or whether these chests had anything good, because for some reason they were unopened. Now I do get a medkit here. I don't use it, but I do get a medkit. And I do actually go up to the scene of the builds and I do find some more loot. Now this, if you want to level up quicker, just a nice tip. If you want to level up quicker, you can unlock the safe. It's yeah, pretty much it'll get you towards a weekly objective and it'll help you out with some XP points. Right here, I'm basically mining mats, which was actually essential to the end game because I ran out of mats at the end, but I would have ran out of mats before the end, even though I wasn't really building that much. I would have ran out of mats before the end if I didn't do this. I would have ran out of mats way beforehand, probably with 5 or 6 players left rather than at the end. So right here, I knew there was a chest spawn here usually, so I try to like look for this, look for a big pot. I didn't find anything. At worst, I mean, at best, that guy would have popped it once I shot him for 50 there. So I take fall damage, but that's fine. It's not really a big deal because I go in this building and I find some fruits right here. I knew there was fruits in these houses. Didn't know exactly where, but I got lucky and found it first time. Basically, the whole concept is if you take damage, always go in the building and you'll find something. So basically right here, I hear a drone and, you know, I wanted to see if I can get shield out of here because they usually give a lot of good stuff and that's exactly what I get. So I find a big pot here. I knew storm was going in, so I also ended up using these flow berries because, you know, you could also carry them for the clingers in this situation, but I had 4 instead of 2. So my thought process was I was going to keep the clingers and use it on an enemy player later. Basically, I ended up getting these flow berries and, you know, getting away from storm because it was just a quicker rotation and give me more advantageous, you know, more time to look for loot, you know, to maybe find more med kits in this situation or find better shield. If I find 3 big pots, I might pick it up. I wanted to go on this mountain right here, and in order to do that, I take the launch pad, and I knew on top of this mountain there's another launch pad. So I was going to have infinite mobility. I was going to be able to basically camp up there for a little bit. If you know, if the storm was on me, then I would be able to stay there. If the storm wasn't on me, I would be able to launch pad. I'm really not at risk. I don't have any mobility items as of now. So basically having mobility in that launch pad, a free launch pad, is going to be extremely advantageous to me, especially given that it would be very difficult to go across the map at this stage of the game at these quality of players, given that you don't have a launch pad. So right here, I was also trying to find some nice loot, and I do get the mobility I asked for. I got the grapple glove, or the grapple blade, my fault. And yeah, I basically just camp up, still do the same thing, check where the next storm will go. The storm's closing at this rate, so I camp for a couple of minutes, I'm not going to lie. Trying to see if I can snipe a player, not really snipe a player, but hit a player with my scar, because I have a purple scar. I knew I can laser someone, go down on them, and basically kill them and finish them very quickly if I hit them. But I didn't also want to force myself into any 50-50s this match. The objective was to be very smart because I hadn't played solos in a long time. Probably 15 seasons I haven't had even a match. I basically only played duos and trios and squads. I like playing with more players. It's more fun. I just like the game better like that. And I see a player right here. I think he went in between the 2 mountains, but he ends up grapple blading away. I basically go in this house, trying to find some small loot, but I actually ended up camping here as well because of circumstances. I knew if someone came up through the same angle that guy grapple bladed to, that I would have been able to shoot him and laser him. Now in this situation, I was basically just like 5 seconds late from lasering him. Basically right here, I find an ammo crate. I knew it was, I checked my ammo, so if I was max, I wouldn't have picked it up. But I wasn't, so I picked it up. Right here, I block myself, check where I'm going to go for next zone. I hear a footstep. I knew this guy was running from someone because even though I didn't hear the shooting, just where he was coming from made no sense that he would rotate this quickly, because if he rotated that quickly, then it would have meant that he wouldn't have like just stopped here. He wouldn't have stopped and try to hide a little bit and mine some stuff and then leave instantly, unless he was being chased by someone and just trying to get mats. So that's why I knew there was a player here. And yeah, my intuition was correct. There was a race car that basically just went right past my location, right after the guy I was going for. I also knew there was a guy with the medallion with like 4 of them at this point. You know, that player was like good, so I knew he was close by. So I decided to go with the grapple glove leave, basically try and get to zone very quickly. I ended up, you know, in zone pretty securely. Right here at this point, even at this point I'm in zone, but I knew there was people behind me with 2 people with medallions. So one guy with like 4 of them and one of them with like 1 of them. So I knew that I wanted to move. So I was going to regenerate a little bit on my grapple blade and just get a more advantageous position in zone, because it was just better and more advantageous. The smarter play overall. I get shot from above here. I didn't see him for some reason. So right here I'm just camping, looking through my stuff, because I know there's players that way trying to see where they are. And then I also make multiple boxes to avoid being, you know, lasered from multiple sides. If I do get shot from multiple sides, if you're in one box, you're basically just going to get peppered, so I'd rather make 3. I also didn't like this position, so I was just waiting for my grapple blade to regenerate again in order to leave, which was the best play in hindsight, because I ended up being able to go across from this railroad. Now I do get shot here for like 49 or 39 to the head, and I get ran over by this car. I don't even know how this car even came about, but it was there somehow, and I got hit for damage. Either way, I could have thrown these clingers here and AR down and maybe could have got this guy dead, but I knew that I wanted to keep the clingers, so either play was acceptable here. I was thinking about it, but I didn't do it. Now, the storm is moving. I was looking at this guy, seeing if he was going to do like a grapple blade, because I knew he had one, but he didn't end up doing that. I see this player over here, and I shoot him for 42 damage. You know, easy. Avoid getting shot. I don't know where this guy is even shooting from. It's a different player to the one I shot. And basically I just cover and rotate the stair in order to not have any shot by a fluke pass through and hit me. Basically, I'm checking to see if this guy's still going to grapple blade. He never ends up grapple blading, but still check it out. I basically put a wall up right here because I actually looked to my right and I noticed a player's running over there. So I'm like, oh, what the hell are you doing? You know, you're going to be easy meat for my AR, and if that guy gets a limbed and lasered. So basically, I have 4 kills. For 3 of them, I put myself at absolutely 0 risk. I'm picking and choosing my engagements extremely wisely, and I basically haven't been shot at all, apart from 2 instances in this game because of it. You know, I got shot twice. Once because this guy had a lucky play. Well, once because the guy had a lucky play. Once because I got sniped because I couldn't place a build somewhere. And once because I was just in an engagement that I got the first 3 shots off on. And he basically had a last gasp, you know, shotgun shot. So I put myself in good situations every time with a little bit of misfortune, actually. I go down here because I knew there were 2 players below me. So I knew if I had to push them, I would have used more mats, not rotating now. So basically I only used like 50, 70 mats right here just to get into, you know, over halfway to zone. I knew there was this one guy behind me. I thought he was behind that shed, but he was actually on my stair. So I noticed that. He was trying to be sneaky, but he wasn't. He ends up grapple blading, so that gives me the basically the freedom to grapple blade, because I knew that he was going to shoot at me immediately from that angle if he had managed to grapple blade, and I would have been in a really bad position. So I go down on the hill here because I knew that I would use the least amount of mats here. I was worried about being shot from above, but that never happened. I was going to, take this engagement, but I knew I was at a disadvantage and below the guy. I slide down to go more towards zone because there's 10 seconds till zone is where I am. I put myself more securely in zone. And I knew I can go down here and not take this 50-50 because I have low ground. I knew if I took this 50-50, it probably wouldn't be productive at the very best. There was still a guy with 4 medallions waiting to shoot me with an AR. So I just go down here, especially given that I only have 200 builds, 200 mats. I basically get another 200 here alone from these 2 items. And on top of that, I end up going down here and get like 60 more stone or 50 more stone or something. And I ended up, also using these pre-existing builds to minimize the amount of builds that I would have to use in order to get to the zone. I also go onto this mountain, so I'm therefore forced to use less mats. He ends up trying to grapple to me, but then he changes his mind and goes off to the side here. I'm secure from being shot from anybody else in the lobby, so I try this clinger play. He ends up just holding the wall, unfortunately. And yeah, I'm just here waiting for the guy to come out. I shoot this guy for 78 damage. And, the 2 guys with medallions, or one of them is with 4 medallions. The other guy with medallions died. But those 2 are fighting. I basically see this guy just standing still, so I go for it. Didn't realize he was holding a sniper, but still got the kill. So I didn't put myself in a bad position there either, because I didn't see his scope. Now, he was holding it like a sniper, but, I didn't see his scope. He ended up shooting me for it, and he also had to have been lucky to headshot me, or he had to have immediately switched to his AR, which he didn't do for some reason. He could have killed me. Again, I didn't put myself in a bad position. He just hit a good shot. So right now I'm high ground, gave myself high ground from the very beginning. I knew I didn't have many mats, so I would have to use all pre-existing builds available to me. And I also didn't want to be shot. So I ended up basically ramping up right here, waiting for this guy to come out, but he does a good job with these pyramids. I ended up trying to look for him here. I knew there was only one build holding him up. I shoot it down. He kind of falls down right there. I saw him fall down. He gets shot. He's on his last legs. And I knew I was at no mats at this point. So I had to grapple glove again behind pre-existing builds so he wouldn't shoot me. Saw that he was there. And I shoot him for the win. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to know when I upload more content. Thank you guys. And it's been me, Fly Slow, teaching you how to be a smarter player.